Welcome back to Living Local. We are less than a month away from the election, and many people on both sides of the aisle are feeling overwhelmed by their emotions and sometimes don't know how to deal with family or friends who have strong differing feelings. And here to help us sort it all out is Alexandria Skinner-Walsh, owner and licensed mental health counselor with the M.A.D Therapy. Alexandria, it's so great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right to it. Is politics destroying our mental health?
Destroying is a hard word, but it's definitely not helping it. We can definitely say that.
No.
The Pew Research Center came out with statistics that show that 65% of adult Americans report being exhausted by politics, and 55% report being angry by American politics. And so I think that those things really urge us, alongside with what people are genuinely reporting: tired, fatigue, stress, anxiety, poor relationships because of politics, to really encourage us to take a good, hard, long look at the impact.
Yeah, for sure. How can folks kind of cope with this stress that they have? Because that's the big thing. We need to cope with this,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Because I know people on both sides of the aisle, and they're angry, they're anxious,
absolutely,
they have strong feelings. Yeah.
I think if we can break it down into action and inaction, that can be really helpful. So ways we can cope through action are things like voting, making sure that our voices are heard, making sure you're registered to vote, being aware on the policies that people are encouraging or trying to change, and finding where your voice is, where you align.
Yeah.
And then getting involved with political parties near you, with whichever party that is that aligns with your beliefs, to get involved and do what you can to affect and make the change you want to see.
Okay.
The inaction part is making sure that we're being intentional with how we're consuming political content. How much, how often are we better reading versus watching? Is there certain sources that are a better impact on our mental health, like ones that are more unbiased?
Yeah.
Think like NPR.
Yes. Yes. So should people maybe kind of take a break from it all? I mean, what if you're very passionate about a candidate or an issue and you want your voice heard? Should we take a break?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All good things should have breaks. Even all bad things should have breaks. We can't do all the things all the time. We have to be able to rest. So it is very important to be informed and aware and advocating for what you believe, but it is also important to take a break, take a rest, step back, pause, recharge, so you can keep going. Because while we're seeing the surge of it right now at election time, politics are happening all year round.
Right.
And so those breaks are really important too.
Yeah, and social media, I think maybe that's where the biggest break might need to come, right?
Yes.
Because you scroll and you see things just nonstop, and then you get friends who just jump on board, right? And most of us are taught not to talk about politics.
Yes.
Kind of keep your mouth shut, right? But sometimes, you know, having open, respectful, and honest conversations, they can help, right? I mean, how do we know if we have those kinds of conversations, if we can have those?
I think that those things, the problem isn't talking about politics, it's how we're talking about politics. Most people enter political conversations trying to persuade somebody else to see their side and to understand their side, or to believe and start advocating for their side of things. And I get where it comes from, right? You get where everyone gets where that comes from. But if we can enter these conversations from a place of, I just want to understand where you're coming from. I just want to hear what your beliefs are. And my goal is not to change it. My goal is simply to understand, and being able to come into that conversation with an awareness that understanding does not mean I agree. I can understand you and disagree with you at the same time. And if we can get to that place, we can understand and hear one another and find this peaceful place to live, even if we don't agree.
Yeah. So can therapy help? I mean, because, you know, if they're having a hard time with anxiety or anger, or is that maybe a deeper issue?
It could be a bit of both.
Okay.
Therapy can definitely help, because it's a way to be able to explore where we align on the political spectrum, being able to think about the content we're receiving and being able to look at it through a critical lens, but also being able to say, what are these impacts that it's having on me specifically, and where are these impacts strongest, and what can I do about them? And are they triggering something deeper that's going on in my life outside of just the political realm?
Right, for sure. Great tips, as always, Alexandra. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, for more information, you can find the M.A.D Therapy on Facebook and Instagram. We'll also have all those details posted on ourquadcities.com.